Your life, Pepper. Your life up there. You see that? Oh, oh, I got you choked. Why is my webcam is laggy? Okay, so I think um, today is the 15th December, and it this probably has hit me last week. I do apologize if the internet is lagging. I don't know why it's like this. I literally restarted my computer. Um, Anywho, let's talk about it. So I was this actually hits to my mind. I was working and something just happened during work. There was shuffling and fight just happened. So the story was a guy who went to a menswear shop and tried to steal a pair of shorts. Now the shop owner caught him and confronted him to leave the item on the table and walk away. And there's no. The moment he did that, he started to punch the shop owner, the store owner, and things gone really ugly. And, obviously, you can imagine they started to punch back and everything. And other store owners, his neighbor, jumped in as well because things gone out of control. It's gone to the court section, chairs being chucked and everything. But everyone was scared to give a good strike or land a good punch. The neighbor shop owner had a bruise on the near the eye socket, and I started to question myself like, this society, you cannot punish those for do wrongdoing, and we are being learned and taught that the only way to respond is either you calm the situation or perhaps when you have contact authorities, it's a bit too late by that stage. But things get erupted as he was leaving. So he was walking towards the premises. And obviously, the management of the market has came in and XYZ. And guess what? Police came, but he walked out freely. If the store, everyone is scared to land a good punch or punish them. And this has really hit me the hardest because in history, right? When people steal, they go to jail and serve their punishment and they're released and taught them not to steal. And obviously, people steal in different circumstances, right? I'm not saying it's a good thing or bad thing, but it's come to the stage to the point that now you have surveillance camera. Now everyone's scared to lay a good punch or anything because they all say, the market, there's a camera up there, so they can pretty much can get sued. But not only just the market, let's just say any business, right? If you caught someone stealing, you cannot touch the person because you go to court for it, and it actually backfire you. And this kind of reminds me of China, and many people says, do not help those who are injured or any circumstances because the moment you touch them or try to resolve or try to help, you end up going to court because in China, they wanted to find someone to blame and get the money out of. I know it sounds pretty messed up, but it is what it is. Now, if things has changed nowadays, I don't know, but that's what I've been told. Do not help anyone because it actually backfires. And this scenario is kind of similar. If you try to help or try to lay a good punch, where there's a one punch law, right? If you punch someone unconscious or land a good punch, you go to jail for it. And I started to question myself because I just got into a relationship. What if someone physically assaulted my girl or rape or whatever you can imagine, I can confront the guy, but I cannot lay a good punch because I'll go to jail for it and I get a criminal record. Or if my girl is cheated behind my back with another guy, in today's world, we not cannot use physical assault. Where it started to question yourself, like there's cameras, there's evidence, and things like that. And things like another example is let's just say someone tried to break in your house, and you have a dog. Is very protective, very vicious, and starts to bite the burglar or robbery. Even though you may come, you control the situation, but at the end of the day, you go to court and you're the one who paid the fine, not him. So it's punishing the good people instead of the bad people. So it's kind of like saying, in America, that's why people have guns. They don't trust authority because it takes time for authority to arrive. So they use, the matters in their hands. Therefore, they don't want to get rid of the guns and things like that. So it's all about protection. But by the time I call the police, how long is the police going to arrive? The burglar, the robber just really run away. And this has gone to the point that when I did my studies, where I look into Michel Foucault, the first surveillance with the pinnacle, and looking at how before king or religion, emperors, when they punish people, is usually go to jail or get death penalty when it comes to stealing, raping, or murder, or etc. etc. Nowadays, we punish them by sending to whether least harsh or harsh sentencing, or perhaps nowadays you can may say terrorism attack. Some of them just go to jail, or they just claim it's mental health or X, Y, and Z. So now you've got surveillance. Everyone's just looking at you, name and shame. But it's kind of like people saying that it's kind of like a loophole. They can get away by saying mental health. So it just feels like we are being brought up and not to do anything. And it's the same thing with kids. Nowadays go to school. If there's a bullier, you cannot respond and fight back, right? You pretty much you have to learn name and shame as a peaceful method, surveillance each other, and say, "Stop it, mate. That's not cool. You can't just give him a good lay punch on the face or things like that. That's wrong." And it's bully is zero tolerance law and X, Y, and Z. And when the kid started to punch back and defend him, and he copped the consequences. And it's very disempowered, especially for men or boys, because if throughout our civilization, there's always been conflicts or fights. If you look at the animal, if they see another guy or try to sexual assault with your girl, or perhaps a female companionship or doing something, obviously they'd fight for it to death. But now you cannot fight, you just respond nothing. So I told my girlfriend the other day, and I was like, look, man, if something happens to you, I'm not saying that I'm a chicken or anything like that. I just don't want to get a criminal record or anything. I'll confront the guy, but I cannot lay a good punch or anything, because at the end of the day, I'm liable and I'm the one who go to jail, not him. So the Michelle Foucault using, this empowered all these religion, kings and emperors down to professional people like lawyers, doctors, GPs, or any profession, and to find a way how to break it and how to make it create a norm and things like that in the most peaceful way, because using violent method, it doesn't reduce the problem, it actually increase the problem. So now everyone surveillance each other, now you have cameras, and it's all about evidence based, and it's all about this, and now it's gone to the stage that everyone is scared. And people in the market saying, like, if it wasn't the camera, he would have laid a good punch on that guy, honestly. But now it's gone to the stage where you've been punished for it. So being punished for it is not really that great. And nobody wants to be good. Nobody can defend themselves, whether your missus or your girlfriend or your kids. So it's a very, very strange world that we're in right now. And I believe, like, if you go to especially third world countries, right? If you start robbery or you start having a fight, they get a knife straight away. They don't care. They fight to the end because they believe that's the right thing to do with their family. But when it comes to the Western world, it doesn't work that way. And in the third world country, it would work that way. And you say they, it should be encouraged because he has the right because his family is in danger or things like that. Get a knife or something like that, or use any equipment or things like that to defend themselves. And that's why a lot of people love going to Asia. They love this concept. It's a lot more common sense, not like nowadays where a lot of criminals or perhaps is using a loophole of mental health. I'm not saying mental health should be a loophole, but what I'm trying to say is every single time. And as I learned sociology, some people were born, or it's their nature, or what they've been taught to be a criminal, or what they see is normal from the person. And then they have the like psychology, psychiatrists to look into the person, how his upbringing and things like that, to determine whether the person was normal or whether they commit a crime or not. So we're learning that in sociology as well. So it's actually, is that genetic or is that nature? Is that how they're upbringing? So that's what the video is all about saying is like, trying to be good in today's world is very difficult because essentially it backfires you. So that's the video of the day. I made 3, 4 videos in today, so I am tired as hell.